Okay, so we're live. Awesome. How are you, sir? Nice to meet you, Mr. Koga Akinsola. I am really, really glad to hear. I apologize for starting late and all the issues we've had. It's been a very crazy year for us. But
No,
so what I do love about this is the fact that no matter what happens, we always have people that are interested in what we are saying. We always have people that are willing to listen to you, and we have a very, very fantastic community of people who are eager to learn more about how to build their startups and how to grow their businesses from where it is to where it wants to be, where it's supposed to be. All right. So just to do a bit of introduction, my name is Edwin Ajogun. I'm the country director for Eco Innovation Center. This is the 85th episode of Techbiz, and again, it's always wonderful bringing you guys this lovely, lovely content because I have a passion for growing startups. My first startup was back in university. I've helped so many adults to grow, and having this opportunity to come and talk to you guys, help you bring people who are very knowledgeable in their areas to talk to you guys. It's always a fantastic opportunity for me, and something that we always do here at Eco Innovation Center. Before we go, someone's going to put the links to all our social media pages, our Telegram group, which has grown exponentially this year. We started this year out with we started last year to September we were about 285. Now we are like 650. It's very, very fantastic. We are growing so much rapidly, and we are seeing that a lot of you are gaining a lot from what we are saying, from the information we are sharing. And it's a fantastic thing. And I want you to just take the time out and go there and join. And someone's going to post the links in the chat box right now. So today we're going to be talking about a very fantastic topic called how investors evaluate their startups. And it's a very personal thing for me because I like to think of myself as a budding investor. I'm taking a course now with London Business School through the Mutual Investor Program, and I'm actually enjoying myself. Really, I am enjoying it, and I'm seeing a lot. So to some extent, I have a little bit of context. I have also a little bit of context with what's going to be spoken about today, and I really, really, really can't wait for you to hear what he has to say, because the misconception really is that VCs want to give you money, or there's no money. I think that to some point, but now I am thoroughly convinced that it is not true. There's a lot of money going on. A lot of businesses are looking for to give money to, but they can't find the right startups. Why? Because your startup is either not interesting enough, not ambitious enough,
or you're not delivering right.
So many different reasons, right? So for this is why I was really excited when our speaker today chose this topic, because it's really something that I want everyone to know about. How can you be able to present your startup in such a way that you understand your value proposition, you understand your growth potential, you understand your team, you understand everything about that should be interesting to an investor, and how can you present that as accurately and as interesting? How can you tell that story to make any investor want to invest in you? That is why we have this speaker today. His name is Koga Akinsola. He's a project controls consultant at an electric and gas utility sector, and is the founder of WEMS RESA, roadside assistance application. He has coordinated electric and gas utility projects in the East Coast, New England region of USA. He has also launched a roadside assistance and auto pass app in Nigeria and Ghana. He is an alumnus of Harvard Extension School, and the Boston University Graduate School, both in Boston, Massachusetts, and he's a PMI, a Project Management Institute professional, PMP and PMI SP certified professional with a knack for solving problems using technology. So we are talking to a founder here. He's going to tell you what it is he has to do. And can I ask you a question? Have you responded before? Oh, awesome.
Excuse
so
me?
He knows.
Have I done what before?
Sorry.
What did you ask? I didn't hear you. What did you ask?
I wanted to ask. Sorry. How much have you raised? Sorry, that's the question I wanted to ask.
How much have I raised? I'm not going to go into those numbers right now, but
that's
I mean, we could talk about that offline.
Right. Okay.
I'm sure we could create a topic. We could create a new topic for that one. so that we don't digress, right?
Awesome. So I get excited when I set up that raising money. It just gets my blood rushing. Okay.
So, I understand, and I see you have a passion for it, which is great.
Awesome. So at this point, I'm just going to open the floor for him. We're going to talk to him for the next 30 to 45 minutes. We're going to really dig down and really explain it and pieces it and put it back together for us to understand. And afterwards, we can ask questions. Please, if you are watching us from any of the social media channels, please do not hesitate to ask questions. Send your questions to you. Send your questions to the comment section of your preferred channel, and we'll read it out for him right here. All right. If not, if you don't have it, you can always send us a mail, and we'll send it to him for him to answer post-event. All right. So, sir, you have the floor.
So, Edwin, hey, thank you very much for having me. Great introduction. I appreciate your passion. You have a great passion for what you do. I'm sure everyone has been waiting. We don't want to keep anyone too long. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is share my screen. Edwin, can you see my screen? So everybody sees the screen.
I'll let you know when it's online, sir.
Okay. Or do I have to share it at some point?
Yeah, you can share it.
So I'm trying to, just a minute now. Okay. So do you see my screen now?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into the presentation proper. But before I kick off the presentation, I'm going to give a little story. While I give that story, if everyone online is watching this, you could go ahead and access the wemsrsa.com website. It's going to help our presentation. The idea here is to carry everyone along.
I just share your screen again. You're going off sharing.
Oh, I went off?
Yeah.
Okay, just a minute now. Let's do this again. It's not providing. Let me see, Windows.
There should be a middle button in between. Just to say,
so tell me if you see it now.
Oh yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So do you see my screen now?
Yeah, I see the screen now.
You see the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes, I can. Yes,
okay.
I can.
All right. So what I was saying before, was, if everyone, tell me if you see my screen. Edwin, do you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it clearly, yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying before was, if you could go onto the website, wemsrsa.com, and scroll down to the bottom of the web, that's the app. You will see Android and iOS apps for users. If you can download that, that will help the presentation. Just follow. This is just to help the presentation as I give examples. While you do that, I'm going to say a little story. Back in my undergraduate days, and like Edwin alluded to, he has a passion like I have a passion, and I love that passion. Back in my undergraduate days, I used to write a lot of proposals. That's what we call them. I mean, we call them business cases now. They've transformed over time, but I used to write a lot of proposals. I used to pitch a lot, and most of those proposals did not see the light of day. But fast forward to today, with my experience in project controls, project management, strategic management, I've come to identify those little gaps. And now I do better, with my, proposals, business cases, and, putting the right startup out there so you can have a great business case. So I'm going to go ahead with the presentation. I mean, the moral of the story is never underestimate little beginnings and knowledge over time. Whoever is logged in here is obviously going to learn one thing or the other. This is not all encompassing, but one thing is obvious: no knowledge gain is lost. So I'm going to go ahead with the presentation. I believe you all should have access to the web or the app. If not, just follow. I'm sure we'll be able to work it out as we go along. Passionate owners. One thing that is key when it comes to investors evaluating your work, they need to understand and see your passion. And when we talk about passion, it's not about saying, oh, I'm passionate about what I do. I love what I do. And all that words, those are adjectives. The key here is tangibles. They want to see tangibles. They want to understand that you're not just talking about being passionate. You're showing it, because at this point, when investors are looking at your pitch, which is a condensed version of your business case, you're not there to tell them I'm passionate. You're not there to tell them I'm dedicated. You need to have a complete understanding of the business/product. So, for instance, at WEMS RSA, which is a roadside assistance app, we kicked it off about a year, 2 years back. One thing that was key here was to understand the vehicle ownership in Nigeria, understand how many people have cars in the country, what is roadside assistance like, how many apps out there provide the service we are hoping to provide. You need to detail that in your presentation to investors. That is passion. For you to go far and beyond to find out that information, that depicts passion. Because it's not enough for you to say I'm passionate or I'm dedicated. And when we talk about dedication is not the lip service dedication. Dedication is more of you doing proper follow-up. And when we talk about follow-up, after obviously you must have put in your business case and pitch and the investors are reviewing, and you're trying to do a follow-up with an email or phone call. You're not just sending an email telling them what is the status, what is the situation, bugging them with emails. No, you're giving them follow-up on new things happening with your business, new features, new creations, something new in your business, and telling them, hey, we have this new feature in our app, and we just wanted to let you know while you review our business case, while you review our pitch. That way, they don't see your emails as you bogging them down with calls and all that. It's key to note when you send those emails, you have an addendum, some kind of message that is new. Then we'll talk about transparency. When it comes to transparency, the key thing here is being real. You don't have to know everything, but you want to know at least 80 to 90% of what you're doing. So sometimes, investors will take a phone, they'll give you a call, and they want to find out, hey, what's going on? We're trying to ask about, this question or that question. Where are you at with that? What you know, you answer to. What you don't, you say you don't, and you want to get back to them, and you get back. Never dance around a question. Never act like you know something you don't. That way they understand and see transparency. You don't speak to transparency. You show transparency. And like we say, at the end of the day, when they look at the totality, they know that, oh, he's transparent when it comes to stuff like that. We'll go into the next chapter, which is product traction. When it comes to product traction, it is key that investors see your product as a fit to a market. For instance, if you've downloaded the WEMS RSA app, which is a roadside assistance app and an auto app when it comes to auto parts and buy and sell in car app, the key thing here is the fit. When we came to market, we needed to identify a market, and we identified roadside assistance. The need was there. People drive their cars away from their mechanic. They need immediate access to roadside assistance. Most times they start to ask people. But if you have an app that you could just access and see providers that you can call close to you, that goes a long way to make you feel safe. So there was that market, and the fit was the app. So you look at the market, you look at the app, and it's a fit. Investors want to see that all the time. And they want to make sure it's a genuine fit, not just something that is just fuzzy. And we talk about upward graph growth trajectory of the business/product. Investors want to make sure and see that there is an upward trajectory in the sense that your business is flexible. Your product is flexible. You're not like in a straitjacket. You can pivot from one place to the other. Taking once again our app, the WEMS RSA app. What we did a year and a half ago when we came to market was to create an app for roadside assistance. And that was it, roadside assistance. Over time, we've added more features showing the flexibility and the ability to pivot. So we've added buying and selling of your car. We added auto parts. So today, you have 3 features on the app. You can get roadside assistance. You can buy your cars. You can sell your car. You can sit down in the comfort of your home and access various auto part dealers, getting the best price. Then you drive to the one that you prefer. So what we've been able to do with the app is pivot. Investors want to see that. They want to see the ability to pivot. They want to see the ability to change from one idea to another within the same constraint, within the same feature, within the same business. Then they want to understand upcoming plans to improve product sales. And the only way you can improve product sales is the ability to pivot, like I said before. If one feature doesn't bring us money, the other feature will bring us money. So the key thing here is this. Investors need to understand that, hey, this app, this business, this product is not in a straitjacket. It is flexible. We can change stuff about it. Hence, they look at it as a possibility. Okay, we can invest in this because they're just looking at it are coming up with different ideas. And with the app today, we've added car insurance, all kind of stuff. So the key here is when you are preparing your business case and your pitch, you need to take into cognizance the fact of being able to create a business that people can pivot, that you can pivot. I'll go to the next, which is a competitive advantage. When we talk about competitive advantage, we talk about your competition in the market. We talk about the uniqueness of your product, and you talk about how you can leverage that uniqueness. So competitive advantage, identifying and understanding the competition. Investors want to see in black and white in your business case, in your business case, what or who are your competition? Identifying your competition goes to show the investor that, hey, these guys have done their due diligence. They've done their homework. Everyone understands that you need to know who you're going against all the time. You learn from their mistakes and you know that, oh, this is how I need to create mine to look better. And this is what they are doing that what we are doing. And this is what they are doing that we are not doing. Investors need to see that. And when they see that, they know, yes, you've done your homework, you understand your competition, and you know how to do better. Then we go to identifying and understanding the uniqueness of the business/product. And that comes back to what I was saying before with the WEMS app. Our app is unique compared to other apps like its kind in the sense that it provides roadside assistance and the auto shop. There are apps out there that try. Basically, the WEMS app, anywhere you are in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja, depending on the area, you bring out your app, you are stranded, it will give you providers around your area, mechanics, spare parts, you leave VI, wherever you go. In that environment, you get spare part dealers in less than 2 minutes. That is unique. That is what uniqueness is about. They see that, they test it, they can see that, yes, this is unique. They can identify. And we come to the ability to leverage the competitive advantage. When we talk about leveraging competitive advantage, what we mean is what is your strengths, right? How are you leveraging those strengths? How are you using that to make money? What are you doing with that? So now we provide roadside assistance. How are we leveraging that? We provide auto parts access to vehicle users. How are you leveraging that? What are your plans to make money from that? And they need to see the detailed description of that because you're not there all the time to defend that. So it's important you understand who your competition is, understand your competitive advantage, and know how you can leverage it. Then we'll come to skilled owners and the team. Investors want to understand your team. They want to know how cohesive your team is. They want to know who is part of your team. They want to understand their skill set. What do they bring to the table? What do they bring to the product? What do they bring to the business? They need to see that in black and white. So in most times, you want to identify your key team players, their names, their skill set, their background, their experience. So they know that, oh, this is what Koga does. This is what Tola does. This is what Jide does. This is what Hamed does. This is what Chinedu does. At the end of the day, they look at it. They said, okay, Koga is a project controls consultant. It's PMP. He has experience in strategic management. He does this. Okay. Hamed is a developer. He's the one designing the app. Olaye is the one doing marketing, is doing this. People need to understand that, hey, these are our professionals. This is their skills. And this is what they bring to the table. Then they can see that, okay, they have a great team. Without that, they don't know. They only know names. So you need to go into detail, let them understand who your team is and what their skill set is. Then we talk about soft interpersonal skills. Soft skills, we hear about it all the time. What are your soft skills? And, most of the time, you can't put soft skills in writing. Investors see that over time. They see it in your temperament. They see in the way you handle issues. They identify that. So that's something that happens over time, but sometimes intuitively, they can see it as you write. They can see it as you post, as you present a pitch to them. So you need to take that into cognizance. Soft skills is something that you can, get a team to understand and bring them along and let them know that some kind of training, it helps. It might be a little spending here and there, but that helps on the long run. And we come to financials, which basically is the last of the slides here. When it comes to financials, that's the big one. Is the big one. And, one thing I always talk when it comes to financials is transparency, transparency, transparency. You can't be transparent enough when it comes to financials. That's money. First thing here is personal investment. Investors want to know, do you have a stake in this business? In the sense that, are you dedicated? How much have you spent in your own business? That does not mean for everyone trying to pitch to an investor, you need to put money in it before you can pitch. No, it doesn't mean that. But if you can put in some money of your own, it goes a long way to tell the investor that I believe in what I am doing. Hence, I've put my money to where my mouth is. I've put my money on my business. I can do that. So it's key. Investors like to see that you've put money into your business. That way, they are convinced that if he can sacrifice his own money, we can equally do so. So like I said, it doesn't mean that if you do not, investors will not review you positively. But if you do invest, it goes a long way. Then we talk about customer acquisition / sales. How much does it cost you to acquire a customer? And how much do you get from them on the short term and the long term? Investors need to see that. They need to understand, what does it cost to acquire customers, be it in social media, marketing, TV, whatever your spending is. You need to put that in writing, be it a projection or be it a plan or something that has happened in the past. You need to state it in black and white, how much it costs you to acquire customers and how much you think you can get from those customers on a short term and a long term. Those numbers go a long way to show what your plans are and how you hope to get money back when they invest in you. The last of this is the debt. Investors want to know what kind of debt you have on your business. Have you borrowed money to start your business from a bank, from family, from friends? Or have you given out some stake, some shares of your company? And you're coming to investors and you're telling them, oh, my business is 100%, but you are reevaluating 50 into 100 because someone else has 50% of your business. That's where transparency comes back in. If you've done any of this, if you have debt from the bank, if you've borrowed money from the bank, from friends, from family, if you've given out 50% of your company, you need to put that out there in black and white. You do not want to blindside your investors when it comes to financials. You want to show that this is the kind of debt I have, or I do not have any debt, or this is the stake I have in the company, and this is a stake Mr. A or Mr. B has. Try your best not to reevaluate your business. Be as transparent as you can. Put it in black on white. Let them know, hey, I own 50% of the company, 50% Mr. A and Mr. B owns. And the last but not the least, it's key that you understand you have to be transparent all the time when it comes to investors reviewing your proposal, your business case, or your pitch. And in summary, before I go into Q&A, like I said, transparency, authenticity, and delivery is key all the time when it comes to investors, appreciating your pitch or your business case. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I have a whole bunch of questions for you. First of all, as long as you don't make it out there, if you have a question, just please, if you're watching us on any of our platforms, just please post the questions underneath any of these in the comment section on any of the social media channels, and we'll read it out here. For me, I have a lot of questions for you. Okay, let's start. All right, cool. So you mentioned something, and I think I have seen this a lot in some of the startups that I analyze, right? Some startups only do a competitive analysis only for the purpose of pitching to the investor. Now, don't you think it's something that they should do to even start out with their business in the first place? And what do you think the benefits of what do you think the benefits there are for the startup? How will it give them that edge in getting ahead in the market space?
Yeah, so you made a valid point there. You need to start that before you put together your business case. I mean, like the point I made earlier, I haven't done this for some time, creating different business. You need to look at the business, not top down, bottom up. So when we plan, we're used to look to top down. So people ask, what do you mean top down, bottom up? Top down is I want to make money, I'm going to create a business, and I'm going to make money. Bottom up, I'm going to look for a problem, and I'm going to solve that problem. So comparatively, what you do here before you even create a business case, to your point, and a pitch, is to sit down, identify that problem, and take it to cognizance that at some point in the future, you're going to create a business case. You're going to answer all these questions. When we were creating our app, we put all these questions on the board. We have them on the board, and we're taking them off. We want to be able to beat our chest and go into the room and make that case. So to your point, it's key. You build it into your creativity, into your business. At the end of the day, you'll be able to create a meaningful business case and pitch for the investor.
Thank you so much. So from a team perspective, like how many people do you think it's best to have on your team to be successful with investors?
When investors like teams, they enjoy seeing you coming with a team. It shows that you have a plan, you have everything going for you. There is no cut straight number when it comes to teams. And I say that because depending on the product, and I'll use mine as an example. I'll use the WEMS RSA app. We have teams in India, we have teams in the US, and we have teams in Nigeria. The core team, I would say we're about 3 and 4 core team members. But outside that, we have other team members. So if we're talking about core team members, you're looking about between 3, 4. That way they can, and these are people that are special at what they do. And for our core team members, we're talking about the developers here. We're talking about myself. We're talking about our marketing team. That way they understand every team member is there for a reason. Is there for a reason. And between 3 to 4, for your core team members, and you can have more than as you need them for the remainder of the team members. But core team members, 3 to 4, thereabouts.
Okay, 3 to 4. Okay, that's fine. So is there a particular set of skills you think this member should have to complement? I mean, we know that the different startups have different products and anything, but there should be an aligning set of skills that this member should have, right?
See, it depends on the business. You know, I'll tell you a funny thing. A team member could be just a financial team member. I mean,
Okay.
he might not bring any kind of skill to the table, but he brings money. You understand? I mean, will you take anything away from that team member? No, you won't. He's bringing money. Will you call money a skill? That's why you hear most of the time when people want to take money now, they take what they call smart money, not dump money. There's no dump money really, but that's the adage out there. You know, they want smart money. And when we say smart money, we're taking money from someone that brings a skill. We're no longer going to take money from someone that brings no skill to the table. And the reason is this: you want them to have a serious buy into the business. You know, you keep buying, and not just money. Let them understand the grind. Let them understand the workings. That way, you know that, oh, we're taking smart money. So in answer to your question, when it comes to skills, it's obvious that it's key. In most times, everyone brings a skill set. The only person that doesn't bring a skill set brings money. I tell you, most people brings it. I tell you, if you go do the research, you've done this over time, most people bring something to the table. The only person now, even the guy with money, brings some knowledge, because no one wants any kind of money that is not smart.
Yeah, I agree. Because even now, what we are seeing nowadays is that they're saying VCs, because there's a really the power law amongst there's a power law that exists amongst selection of startups, whereby you say for every 10 startups you invest in, you only make profit. You only do generate returns from about, say, 2 or 3, if you're lucky. All right. So you find out that people who have like 3% success with actually the most successful VC funds, and because of that, they do get to try and reach out to as many startups as they can, as many as they can.
Yeah.
So for me, I do think that even when they do that, you find out that 2 VCs are competing for the same startup because they think that they can see the potential. And the question now becomes, after your money, what else are you bringing to the table?
Yeah.
So when you are building your view, when you are building, when the owners, or when the GPs are building a VC, general partners are building a VC, they actually have to ask themselves that question. Like when we're writing our thesis, what are we bringing to the table that is beyond just funding? Because a lot of serious founders actually ask that question because the money is out there for everybody to see. You know, what else can you?
Yeah.
Do you bring a network? Do you bring network? Do you bring access to government, access to finance, access to other markets? What exactly can you bring aside writing me a check? So we're lucky that we're going from this. We're going from the phase whereby startups are the ones doing, the interview with VCs. We're not even finding a situation whereby VCs are not interviewing with startups to even get to even accept their money. So everybody has to be on the table eventually.
And you know, to bounce off that, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a good problem to have, right? Being able to stay in a situation where they woo you and you're trying to see, okay, apart from money, what are you bringing? It's not every time you see that, though. I must put it out there. It's not every time you see that.
There's a level you get to.
Yeah, there's a level you get
to.
You
love money, so what? What else do you want?
Yes,
for example, if someone like Elon Musk wants to raise money,
yeah.
You can't
I mean, it's every time you see a situation where investors will woo you, but it does happen because of your product. So if you have a very good product, it's awesome and the market is there, they will do that. Then you have the choice to,
I even know a very recent example. A founder raised it. I don't mention her name, but she raised investment from a pitch deck. Now she's an ex-McKinsey. Her husband is a very well-known, very successful entrepreneur, right? Who also led the investment into her company. So when everybody saw that this guy was investing in this company, and this is someone that has led at least 2 successful startups before, and one she has exited from, we had, and he basically said, you know what, I want to raise about 2 million. I want to raise a $2 million investment,
Mhm.
and minimum ticket size is $20,000, right?
Mhm.
And it was oversubscribed in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Oversubscribed. Like
Yeah.
people were just bringing in money. Like one of my friends that was even trying to invest was even begging her, like, you know what, please, I don't have 20,000 naira, $20,000. Can you take 10,000? Just let me get it on his action. And it happens. And the truth of the matter is that it takes time to build that kind of equity. You need
Yeah.
to have done a lot of stuff. You need to have
Yeah.
proven yourself in the market.
Yeah.
You need to have that kind of network for you to get there. But it does
You need to
happen.
have put your own money.
Exactly. No, you
You
don't have to put your own money. Oh. You don't have to put your own money. You just
No,
need
no,
to
no.
have.
What I mean is this: you need to have put your own money. Money can be tangible. Your own. When I mean your own money, see, no
Mm,
matter how you look at it, from the beginning, and when I speak about young people trying to do something great with themselves.
mm,
That are just trying. They're trying.
yeah,
They need to understand that you need to have created a journey to get to the
exactly.
place where you create a business. The
Mm.
people you're talking about, believe me, at some point in time, they created something in which they put in some sweat,
Oh yeah.
some time. My brother, time is money. They put in
Mm-hmm.
some time, some sweat. And when you do that, that's how we look at money, right? Money, when we
Mm-hmm.
think about time, when you think about money is not always liquid. Your time is money too. And when you put in that, a lot of people appreciate what you've done over time.
Mm.
Over time, there's a history. They can look
Mm.
back and say, hey, that guy's been tested and trusted. I will invest.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, even from a personal experience, when I first raised my startup, my first investment I raised was about $10,000 thereabouts, and I had to travel inside tanker to Abuja. Then, because I was so far in Nigeria at the time, I actually because the
Mhm.
letter was like in Abuja, I had to meet him there, blah blah blah. I started to travel, and when we went to Dubai together, when we got back, I had to be in his office every day for about 6 months,
You
just for
see
him to give
that?
me $10,000. I mean, that
That's
was when I
that's
was
that's
green.
money there. That's
That
money
was
you're
money then,
spending.
yeah. But that was money. But my point now was that was when I was green. Nobody really knew me. I was basically trying to raise me. That was me trying to raise my first investment. Now I've had people that ask me, Edwin, when are you going to start this startup? I'll give you money. I'm like, I'm not ready yet. Do you get? I'm looking for the idea that will get my users running. I'm not ready yet, and I have people that are willing to give me investment. So,
Yeah.
but then, from what you're saying, there had been an investment because even when that time I was going, I had to buy my own tickets, I had to do my own things, I had to invest my own time, a lot of cash I even spent just to go and meet my clients and really build
And
that
that's the
equity to
point.
where I am
That's the
today.
point.
And
Yeah.
I think that's the point you're trying to make. And it's a very,
Yeah.
very, very valid point that there's nothing that comes to you for free. You have to invest
No.
something into it.
No.
So
And that's
I
why
have a
it's
question.
good to have a history towards that
Yeah,
time.
yeah, it's good termination. Even as a VC,
Yeah.
you at the early stage, some startups at some high level that I won't even want to talk to you because like, oh, who's this guy? I also want to give me $10 million now, $1 million now, and it's stopping me every month now because and when you have everybody's bringing you a pitch decks. Oh, please invest in me, please invest in me. So it's a normal thing. I mean, even for VCs too, they have to build their own equity to get to
Yeah.
where they have to get to. So everything's
Yeah.
development is very, very important. Even for and it can from what I've realized, it can get you through if you're trying to if you're trying to look at what investors are looking at in startups, your equity is something they look at a lot because
Yeah.
it can make the meeting a 1 hour meeting or a 3 years meeting.
Yeah.
You understand?
And to the
So
point, and to the
yeah,
point you just raised about equity. When you come to investors and you're coming to investors and you're telling them, my business is 100%, but that's reevaluation of my equity.
yeah.
It's really 50%. I mean, any investor that hears that is scared
Mm-hmm.
at that point because you are telling them you've lost 50%. You're reevaluating your business. You're coming to them to invest in your business. No.
Mm-hmm.
So you as an investor, put yourself in the shoes of wear the hat of an investor, and I come to you and I say, Edwin, I have a business that's 100% mine, and
Mm-hmm.
some other guy comes to you, I have a business that's 30% mine, and we have the same spec. I mean, where
Mm.
will you go? You
Ah,
go with a guy with 100%, right?
yes.
It's
Yeah.
a no-brainer. And there are proposals and business cases and pitches that these investors see every day. And
Mm.
they don't have time to go into the weeds to know why you give out 50%, why you own 50%, when they have a
Mm-hmm.
pile of proposals. So the key here is to make sure when you go in and you are going in with 50%, be transparent. If you don't have 100%, at least enough stake, not 100. You don't have to have 100. I mean, you don't have to. If you have partners, you're not going to have 100. You know, if you have partners, the key is to, at the end of the day, go in, be transparent. They understand. They don't need the entire business. They only need a little bit of it. But don't go in and not letting them know where you are. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree with you. So I want to ask you one more question. So from your own personal experience, what's your biggest challenge raising funding?
So raising funding is convincing. The challenges is a lot of them. You know, there's a lot of challenges out there. The key challenge is convincing the investor that the business will strive, convincing them that the business will strive. If there was a magic wand that shows the
Mhm.
future, like a
Ah,
crystal ball, and we say this business is going to do well, I can tell you they would love to have that, and they will just wave it, and they will take this guy and not take this guy, because the issue is some businesses are turned down and those businesses go on to do well. So that is always the issue, the struggle. And if you know that, you know, as someone that is seeking to start up a new business, you take that into cognizance and create an opportunity for investors to see how your business will strive. That's the big problem, convincing investors about the possibility of this business doing well.
hmm.
It is. I mean, if you've done this
That's the whole
sometimes,
idea of investing, right? To make
yes,
sure that you're getting your money back in 3x
yes.
or
So I
4x.
mean, you travel to convince people. You said you convince people. Why do you think you were trying to convince them? You think you were
Yeah,
trying to convince them to give you money? No, you're trying to
yeah,
convince them that the business is viable.
yeah. It's not just viable. And if you're looking at it from a numbers perspective, it's not necessarily about when you say when we say you want to convince the business is viable. It's kind of broad. When you look at it really, what the investor wants to see is that if I put in my money now, what's the potential that your business can grow to the point whereby you might need more money from someone else, or you might even get an IPO.
Yes.
That means that your business has to be structured in such a way that the value proposition is so strong that there's an existing market that is not even gotten to yet that can increase your sales by what, 100%, 200%, or there's an existing product that you can bring out that can basically revolutionize a particular area and might attract follow-on funding, which will also obviously increase the value of my own investment.
Yeah,
So,
that's
so
true.
all of this, and
Yeah,
to
but
me,
yeah, but you
yeah,
understand.
that's it.
Yeah, but you understand one thing. You look at places like Airbnb. Airbnb, you wonder who
Mm.
turns down Airbnb? Who turns them
Yeah.
down? They turn them down. So you think about businesses like that. Who turns them down? Who turns down those kind of businesses? They did, and someone did not. So they did because who's gonna come and sleep in my house? Who's gonna?
Yeah.
And that's their thinking. That is the viability. That's what they thought about. They didn't think about. They think about. And the first thing was this. I mean, if you read the Airbnb story, and that was it. That was one of the thesis I did. And you look at the story, you understand that the first thing that people thought about Airbnb was, okay, who's gonna come sleep in my house? A stranger in my house? How do I have a stranger? Today, everybody has an Airbnb. Everybody has a room. Most people have a little room here and there making money. So it becomes an innovation. It becomes sensitization because a new idea, most of the time, they see it, they don't see the possibility. I tell you. And it becomes an innovation. What is an innovation? It's something that people turn down. It's shocking. Then it becomes an innovation, and you become an innovation from sensitizing people. Because, I mean, when we brought our app out, people are not comfortable with just picking up another mechanic. You know, oh, I don't want him to mess up my car. But today, it becomes a sensitization. It's a sensitization process. Same with Airbnb. Nobody wants to go and sleep in a stranger's house. But today, everybody sleeps in a stranger's house.
Thank you so much, sir. I had a very fantastic conversation with you. I'm sure a lot of people have enjoyed us go back and forth with our conversation, and probably people have more questions for us later. And I promise to send you the messages. We'll reach out to you, and if anybody has any questions, we'll reach out to you and ask you at a later date. It's been really fantastic having you here with us. It's been fantastic, and I really glad that you could join us. Oh, somebody is asking a question. How do I make a follow-up? Okay, basically, you said to see how you can raise investment without an MVP.
When you say without an MVP, what is that?
Basically, something about at pre-seed stage. There's nothing like pre-seed. It's
seed. Yeah, I mean,
for the purpose of modern parlance, pre-seed.
Yeah,
like you don't
have an idea. So that's a very good question. Please, how do I make a follow-up with an investor without an MVP yet?
I think you want to know how you can raise money without an MVP.
Yeah, and that's the struggle in most times. And I'll tell you, your ideas, your business ideas don't die. Sometimes it might not be ready because of that situation, but continue to improve the business and continue to reach out to them. And I say this, our business did not just come up when we did it. It came up when we were ready. It's been in existence in my mind for years. It only came up when we were ready. We were ready financially. We were ready skill-wise. We were ready, so continue to build it. New innovations, new ideas, pivot here and there, approach them over and over. Don't let it die. Just continue trying, because the issue here is if you don't have that money to kick things off yourself, continue to improve your idea. Continue to improve it. I mean, reach out to people. You don't have to let all your eggs, you don't have to let everything out, but tell them little by little, you can catch people's interest. Because most of the time, these people you are asking for money, a lot of people they're asking for investment from them. So you don't want to go there half-yoked. You don't want to go there half-yoked at all. You want to come in with your A game, like they say.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone that's listening to us. I really appreciate you. For everyone that's going to watch this, and if you watch this later on, which most of you are going to do anyway. So if you do have a question, of course, as usual, just send it over to us. We will pass it on to the speaker, or we can answer some for you. Thank you so much, Mr. Cole, guys. It's really fantastic. It's nice to have this conversation with someone who has an interest in investing in startups too. Although I do want to make one more comment, yeah. To the last question. I always say that it's always best to not even raise funding when you don't have traction yet. I mean, at that point in time, you're a big raise. People want to give you little money and take a lot of equity from you, and to affect your ability to raise funding later on. So, so if you still have an idea, I think it's just focus on building MPP, focus on hitting your initial, getting your beachhead markets, getting to your beachhead markets, and showing that your product has potential for scale before you start looking for funding or to scale. Because if the truth of the matter is, at pre-seed, your idea is not necessarily formulated properly yet. Until you've built your product and you've got to the market and you've tested it and you've seen what the customers are saying, you don't really know what they're going to. You don't really know. You might have an idea, but you don't necessarily know how you're going to serve your customers. And if you don't know that, then any money you raise before, based on an idea that you have never tested, might go to waste.
And that's the point I was making. Continue to improve it.
So you just need to take your time and really just before you decide that you need to talk to an investor. So on this note, thank you so much, sir. It's been fantastic. It's been interesting.
Thank you for
And I
having
hope
me.
to see you. Maybe hopefully we'll meet again in a conference or a meet up or a webinar. I don't know. But I will hope to have this fantastic, interesting conversation over and over again. Thank you everyone so much. Thank you very much, everyone that watched this from wherever you are. We have people from like 103 countries that view our webinar every week, and it's a great thing. Please be here with us. I want to make an announcement here. From next quarter, we'll be having Techbiz once a month, every last Thursday of the month. We'll be announcing that in our social media handles very soon. And the reason is because we want to be able to give ourselves time to get you the best of the best, get you very interesting speaker, and of course, spend a lot of time in marketing the webinar to other countries within Africa, South Africa, so that we can be able to get a whole lot of interesting conversations for people from different countries. Just having conversations, just really just getting together and just understanding what's going on in every single market, because we feel like people need to know what works here in Africa, what works in Nigeria also works in Ghana, also works in Kenya. There may be some nuances that are different, but we need to know what's going on in those places. So we'll be doing that so that we can be able to reach out to more people from across the continent. And I hope that you can be here with us. I know you guys enjoyed this webinar, but from next quarter, it's going to be once every month. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Soya. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you again some other time.
Take care now.
Take care.